Here's the start of the race. They let you out in waves of 250, so it gets a little congested sometimes. Here's the first obstacle, 5-foot wall. Notice no feet. Then they had a couple of what they called rolling mud, just two little pits of water. Not really muddy by Spartan standards. This race was actually not very muddy at all. There was mud, but nothing like I've seen at other races. Might be because the weather was good. I'm not sure. This one was called Dunk Wall. Just another pit of water, but you have to actually go under this dividing wall that goes under. So just to fully submerge yourself. Water's not too cold because it's summertime, so it wasn't too bad. Next was a 6-foot wall. Again, not too hard. I'm a taller guy, so the walls don't give me much trouble generally. This one is the monkey bars. It was different than other races because the monkey bars were spaced out. I feel farther than usual, but I have long arms, so it's not usually an issue here. My left hand grip has been kind of giving me trouble. I'm having some tendonitis, so I've been slipping a little bit, so I had to readjust there, but I made it through. This is the tire flip. I'm not sure what the weight is on the tire. I'm guessing somewhere around 200 pounds, maybe up to 250, but I don't think it was more than 200 pounds really. Most of the guys I saw didn't have too much trouble with it. I did see some struggling or getting help, but it wasn't really that difficult. I mean, I guess that's relative, but this one's the inverted wall, so it's like the other walls except that it's leaned back towards you, so it makes it a little more difficult. You have to keep your body close to it to not peel off, and then just hook your leg over and get over the other side. This is the Atlas carry. Oh, Atlas stone carry. So it's a small Atlas stone. You just carry it across, I don't know how far it was, 10 yards or something. Drop it down, do 5 burpees, and then carry back. If you don't know much about Spartan races, burpees can be a big part of them. There's a penalty for each obstacle you don't complete. You have to do 30 burpees. And if you've done burpees before, you know that 30 burpees, you're a different person after you do the 30 burpees. They can take a lot out of you, especially if you don't train them a lot. So really, my goal is always to not fail obstacles, so I don't have to do the burpees. They take a lot of time, and they zap you of a lot of your energy, so it's best to try to avoid them if you can. This one was called Stairway to Sparta. Basically just a wall with sort of a cargo net style climb over, but they're planks. Not really too difficult. I guess the hardest part would be if you can't reach the starting point to jump up and grab. That might be difficult, but or if you're afraid of heights, it could be, a little scary at the top when you're climbing over, but not the most difficult or technical obstacle in the race. This next one I'd never seen before. It's called Pipe Lair. Yeah, this is my first time. I guess there are different obstacles from sprint to super to beast. This is my first super, so I don't know if this is just new altogether or what. Not too difficult, really just have to navigate through. Don't touch the ground. This one is called Twister. It's kind of like monkey bars. If you could see, they're turned sideways, and as you grab onto them, it actually twists to the side. So it puts a little bit more pressure on your wrist and your grip. But if your grip's okay, they're similar to monkey bars. You can get through it. This one is the 7-foot wall, similar to the 6-foot or 5-foot wall. Just you have to be able to get yourself up there and then press through. So if your triceps are strong, you got it. This one is called Olympus. It's a wall traverse. You can't see because the camera's on my chest, but in the beginning, if you look, you see there's you can choose between rock climbing grips, these metal chains, and then the little holes you can see right now in the video. I chose the chains. I find them easy to grip. It's tough on your fingers, but you can really get a good grip on them and get across. You really want to keep your feet flat against the wall if you can. When it's raining, it makes the obstacle much more difficult, 100%. So this one's called Bender, I guess because it's bent back. It's like 4 pipes. To get started, you do have to be able to pull yourself up hand over hand. Then you can start using your feet. That's the technique I used. The hardest part is getting over the top because you tend to lean back. It's hard to get your momentum over that way. But um, that's really the hardest part of the whole thing, if you have the upper body strength to lift yourself. This one's called the box. It's just a rope climb, but you have to get up and over the top, and there's nothing to grab onto on the top of the wall. You can see as I go over. So you have to either use the rope to continue to pull yourself up, or grab onto the supporting pipe, which is allowed. It's just a bar grab. So you just shimmy over the other side. Yeah, not super difficult, but just awkward obstacle. This one's called beater, I guess because it looks like an egg beater. It's like a monkey bar. So the first two are monkey bars, then you have to get onto the beater. And you can see the guy next to me on the left going. It does rotate. It spins as you grab it. So you can use that to get momentum, like I'm doing here, but at the same time that movement can throw you off and make you slip off the obstacle. My bell, you can see, is tied up there, so I just knocked it loose, grabbed it, and then tapped it to get through the obstacle. It's just called hay bale. It really wasn't much of an obstacle. You just go up and over, or hay wall, I guess. This one was called Z walls. You can just see it's a Z, and there's the little pegs you use with your fingers and then your hands. You're not allowed to grab the top. Me and this guy started at the same time, so we were banging into each other. So I stopped for a second, let him get ahead, so we weren't hitting each other as we're going. The hardest part of this is really right here, going around the edge, because it's a long reach, and the things you're standing on don't really give you much. It takes balance, finger strength, and you just take your time and go hand over hand through it. I try not to cross my hands. I match them. I do see some people do the crossover. I just find that when you cross over, if you start to lean back, you just barn door. You just open up and fall off. So I like to match. So I just hit the bell and finish the obstacle. This one is the spear throw. The spear throw, I feel, is such a wild card. I don't have any way to train it, whereas you can train our body strength and whatnot. So my technique is I grab the front and I put my fingers on the end of it, aim, throw, and I follow through with that backhand. I've had success the last two races I've done. You can see I stuck it there, and I'll have a little replay right there. So it went pretty straight and well. It's tricky. This is one that you can easily fail and get the burpees on. So you can practice it. I guess some people do make their own spears. To practice and throw hay bales. Usually it's a hay bale, but this time it was like a foam kind of thing. So if you miss, you only get one chance. You have to do 30 burpees and all that. So luckily I was able to make it. This one is the Sandbag Carry. If you saw me pick it up, I'm not sure how long you go with it. I'm not sure how much it weighs. Probably 40 pounds or so, and maybe it's a quarter mile around the little trail back, and you drop it off. Just time consuming, not particularly hard. Just takes time, can zap your energy a little bit, but not that bad. So here I drop back in and move on to the next obstacle. I've cut out all the running because this is an 8-mile race and it's mostly running. The obstacles I find are a break from the running. I don't not really love running too much, so the obstacles to me are fun. This one's called the slip wall. When it's wet, I'm sure it's very slippery. Today it was not. It's pretty easy grab. Walk up with the rope and then climb over the backside. So this one is the Barbwire Crawl. I sped it up, just like I sped up the Sandbag, because it's just slow and takes a long time. Not really very exciting to watch, but and you get stuck behind people all the time, so it is what it is. This is a good one. This is one I've seen at almost every event. It's called the Hercules Hoist, and there's sandbags attached to a rope on a pulley at the top. Essentially, you just have to pull it until it gets to the top and then lower it back down. If you drop it down, it's burpees. If you can't get it up there, it's burpees. This is one obstacle where being bigger, heavier, helps. I'm not heavy. I'm very light for my height, So the climbing and the grip obstacles, are great for me. But this one wasn't super heavy, so it wasn't that difficult. But I see bigger guys just grab the rope and lay back and can easily pull it down. So, you know, pros and cons to weighing more or less, I guess. Here's another carry. It's the bucket carry, similar to the sandbag, except this hurts your fingers more because the bucket can be sharp on one side, and it can just dig into your fingers. Again, I sped it up. I switched my grip. I held it sideways, then I switched back to holding it upright, just to change it up. Bucket wasn't super heavy. It's just filled with rocks. Just more awkward to carry. It pulls down, so puts pressure on your lower back. But overall, just a time-consuming, slow walk around. I don't know, might have been a quarter mile or so carry, but not really much to say about that. Oh, back to the burpees. So you do 30 burpees per obstacle that you fail. So if you fail a lot of obstacles, you do a lot of burpees. It eats up time, and it just knocks the wind out of you. So really completing as many obstacles as you can will help with your time. Also, being a strong runner, the longer the races are, the better your time will be because you can just run through. I'm not a particularly strong runner. I'm average. So these this one was 8 miles. The sprint is generally around 4 or 5, and then the beast is 13. So I'm doing the beast next month. So the more cardiovascular strength you have, the better you'll be between obstacles, and you'll have more left in the tank when you're getting to the obstacles. This one's the low crawl. It's just a bunch of bungee across a mud pit, mud, I guess, not very muddy. And again, what I mean by that is it's not super sticky where you get stuck in it. It's more just liquid. But you just get under them and go. This one is the MultiRig. So what it is first it's rings, and then it goes onto a bar, like a hanging bar, and then back to rings. So this one, I usually love the rings. The thing about the rings is you need to be able to hold your body weight with one hand. Generally, I'm fine with that. But on the second ring, when I had to swing with just the left hand holding, I started to lose my grip. I almost failed the obstacle because, like I said, my left hand, something's going on with my elbow and forearm, so my grip isn't as strong as it usually is. So that did some of the obstacles a little difficult. I did get through, hit the bell, didn't fail, survived another obstacle. This one is the A-frame cargo. So just a cargo net. That little kid there said, good job. So that was nice. So this one is really, if you're afraid of heights, that's the only piece that might be challenging. It's not very physically challenging, but I guess it could be mentally if you have a fear of heights, which I kind of do, but I face it a lot, so it doesn't affect me very much. It's just in the back of your head, or back of my head. So, and it's cool about this one is people walking into the race walk under the frame, so you get to see people coming in and out. They see you, doing the race. So spectators that come can get a good view from there as well. This one called vertical cargo, one I haven't seen before. It's just you jump up onto the stable thing and then climb over. Not that difficult in my opinion. If you can't get the leverage to get your elbows above it, then I guess that would be difficult because you'd swing under the table. But not that difficult. It's also towards the end of the race, so you're starting to fatigue, that kind of thing. So that's completely possible. That's definitely a factor. So next is the rope climb. They put it at the end. It's really mean. It is a harder upper body obstacle. So if you're just burned out, it can be very difficult. I was able to get it quick, hit the bell, get back down. At this point, I see that I'm getting towards the end, and it's not 11:30 yet. So you can see here the time says 11:29. It's going to cut back here to 11:29. So I expected that it would take me 3 or 4 hours to do the race. I ended up doing it in just under 2 because I started at 9:30. So I was very surprised. So I really rushed at the end to try to beat that 2-hour mark. Here's a bonus obstacle. Getting stuck behind people walking. In these races, that's the one complaint I would have about Spartan races. You do get stuck behind people. You have to walk. It slows you down. So, that's could be a little annoying at times. here's the medal from the race. It's the Super medal. It's the blue color. Each race has a different color to it. Super being blue. Red is generally the sprint, unless it's a stadium sprint, which is yellow, and then the green beast. And then it goes up from there. There's other races like ultras. But for me this year, I'm planning on doing the trifecta, which, if you don't know, is completing a sprint, a super, and a beast in the same calendar year. Sprint's usually 4 to 5 miles. Super being 8 miles, and the beast being 13 miles. So that's the goal for the year. With each race, you get a medal, and you also get a wedge. And you can see here the blue wedge and the yellow wedge. And then once I complete the beast, I get the green wedge, and it's complete. So it's a cool little thing to shoot for in Spartan. So that'll be the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll be putting up a video of the beast most likely next month. Bye.